Are you too cool to be happy? The beauty of a fresh notebook and what we're binging on.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit Hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Good morning. Here it is, Thursday already, January 9th, 2020, day 118 of Gotta Get on Ellen. I am on day 8 of my 30-day challenge, almost into the double digits. I'm hanging tough. I'm keeping committed. I'm staying strong. Ugh, it's been tough. It's getting tough. I'm starting to have some cravings. I'm starting to feel a little weakness. But I know I can do it. I know I can power through. We will see. Well, we're not going to see it. I'm going to do it. It's just as simple as that. Like I said, I have decided 30 days, no carbs, healthy eating, no drinking. I will persevere and I will do it. 1, because I know I can. 2, because I said I would. And 3, because it's good for me. I'm going to be healthier. As somebody pointed out on the news this morning, not only is dry January good for you health-wise, it's good for the wallet as well. That is another good benefit. Yes, we don't have to get beer every weekend. That is going to really help the budget. So, day 8 today. I've got 7 days down, a full week under my belt. Hopefully, my belt is getting a little looser. Hopefully soon my belt will go to the next smallest notch. I don't really wear a belt, so I don't know yet. And I'm trying not to rush it and have too high expectations. So my poor man, so sick as a dog, still not getting any better. Still being a trooper, going to work. We are out of cold medicine again, so I will take another run to the store and stock up. I'm going to stock up a little more now since we seem to be going through it so quickly. He just doesn't seem to be getting any better. It's awful. I don't know what's going on. Why can't we shake this? I still am about the same. Not really better, not really worse. Just kind of in the middle there. Kind of on the edge. It sucks. It's like the worst. So hopefully we will be on the mend soon and back to our normal, full-fledged, 100% selves. Because I know you've got to miss it, right? Speaking of my man, he put in for a couple of days off in the beginning of February with his boss yesterday. He's going to be taking off February 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So he was explaining to his boss the reason why he needed those 3 days off. And he said, well, we are doing dry January, first of all. So February 3rd is the day after the Super Bowl. February 4th is my wife's birthday. February 5th, I will be hungover. I thought it was hysterical. I thought it was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, yeah, that was really good. I like that a lot. So, yeah, we have a big February coming up, and that's what I will be looking toward as I struggle a little bit through January. It's okay. It's all working out. It's all going to be good. So here it is, the first full week in January, and I have started a fresh notebook for my notes. I have a notebook that I use for my notes that I'm going to be going over for the podcast. And it's also where I write down my 10 dreams that I write down every day, which I have been lacking. I have not done it once this week. I know, shame on me. I will slap myself on the wrist, and I will get back to that. But this is a brand new notebook that I had purchased back A couple of months ago, I bought a whole bunch of notebooks at one time, and this one's got such a pretty cover, and it actually was the most expensive one. I've never paid so much for a notebook before in my life. I think it was $9.99, and I'm trying to see how many pages are in it. I can't really read. I'm kind of in the dark. Does that say? Let me see if I can use my phone. 100. No, that's not the pages. 192 pages. It's an odd number. I think that's what it says. 192 pages. It has a gold. It's a spiral bound notebook. It's a little smaller than your typical 8.5 by 11, which I will probably get used to and like the fact that it's a little more compact so that I can hold it up a little bit better, flip it around a little bit more. And then when I go back to a normal size notebook, it will be big and bulky and annoying. But anyway, it's got like the gold edges around it, and it's got a very beautiful print, flower print on the front, and it says, "Be your own kind of beautiful." Yes, it's lovely. And there's something just so nice about starting off in a fresh notebook. Or is it just me? Am I the only geeky one? That's okay. I don't mind. So I went back and started looking at some of since I finished my notebook yesterday, some of the things that I was doing when I first started the podcast. Now, this started back in April of 2019. So, it was kind of cool to go back and see how it all started and what I was talking about in the beginning and how it's kind of evolved a little bit over time. How I still ramble on and lose my train of thought and forget my words. But, alas, I continue. I keep at it. So cheers to my new notebook, my very pretty notebook. I will never pay this much money for a notebook again. I will tell you that. But I'm going to enjoy it while I have it. A little note also. Today is the first day of the Rise conference in Fort Myers. I had considered going, and even just up until like 2 days ago, someone was gifting a ticket to the conference. And I had put some serious thought into contacting an aunt that I have that lives in and around the Fort Myers area. She might live about an hour away. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I thought if I could set it up to stay with her, I would only have to pay for the conference ticket and then the transportation to and from, and then food and what have you. And then they were gifting. Somebody was gifting a ticket, just saying, I have an extra ticket. My friend can't go. I would like to give it to somebody. I just couldn't do it. But now I'm super jealous. I'm super jealous of all of the people who are going to be absorbing all of the wisdom of Ms. Rachel Hollis. I gotta tell you, my Rise Business Conference was life-changing. And I hear that the women's conference is even more eye-opening, shall we say, because it doesn't have the slant on the business aspect like the one I attended does. There's some real friendships are formed and some real breakthroughs happen, and I'm a little sad that I'm not going to be there. Oh, today also, by the way, Miss Rachel Hollis' birthday, 37. Happy birthday to you. I hate when people are that much younger to me and so more super successful, but I love you, girl. You know I do. You know I do. Are you watching Jeopardy? The greatest of all time. This is so much fun to watch. If you're not watching, you really have to. I mean, I'm a Jeopardy fan. So, I know all of these guys, and I watched James. I didn't watch Ken back in his day. I don't think I watched it. I watched Jeopardy when I was young, and then I think I took a long break from it. And then it was kind of on and off for a while, if nothing else was on, blah, blah, blah. And Joe and I have watched it pretty steady for a couple of years now. So, I'm very, into James because I watched him on his run. I did not watch Ken Jennings on his run. And Brad didn't really have that much of a run. He more won money in tournaments. high-paying tournaments. One of the tournaments he won was $100,000. Another one was $2 million. I mean, so he's won the most money of all people in Jeopardy via tournaments. So it's not like he was on it for a super long time. In fact, I think, if you remember back in the day, a champion could only be on 5 times, and then they were, told to move along. And they started with 3 fresh new people. They had changed that at some point, obviously, before Ken Jennings. So Brad was on so far back that I believe that rule was still the case. So, and it's funny because he's lost a lot of weight over the years. And even he said when they're doing like little flashbacks to, the people who are on it, their runs. And Brad is like, yeah, I love how you love to show the chubby pictures. But the greatest thing about this show and about the tournament and these 3 particular guys being together, there is such a sense of camaraderie between them. They're joking with each other. They're busting on each other. They're laughing. They know each other. It's really cool to watch. I mean, it really is. So, and you learn something too. That's the great thing about Jeopardy is you always have something. Well, in my case, there's a lot of things on that board that I don't know. And they're bringing out the big questions, too. Some of them I knew. I was a little surprised, actually. Some of them I did know. Most of them I did not. So if you get a chance, it looks like it's going to be on for a while because the way, apparently I'm not explaining it very well because Joe is very confused. The way that they are having the games is in typical tournament fashion. Now, a typical tournament, they start out with a bunch of people and then whittle it down. So then for the finals of the tournament, they usually have a 2-game final where they combine the scores from both games on the last day to determine the winner. So that's what they're doing with this. But since there's only 3 people from the start, it's whoever gets to 3 wins first. How do you get to 3 wins? This is how you do it. 1 game, 1 full game, Jeopardy, Double Jeopardy, Final Jeopardy counts as a round. Then you do a second game. Jeopardy, Double Jeopardy, Final Jeopardy. A second round. That equals 1 game. You combine the totals from those 2 games, and that equals a game. So whoever has the most points at the end of those 4 rounds / 2 games, or 4 rounds. I am confusing, aren't I? I hope you get what I mean, because now I'm confusing myself. It is 4 rounds, but 2 full games of I am saying it backwards, I believe. I'm just totally confusing myself right now. Oh, my goodness. So right now, we've got Ken winning game 1, round 1. He won round 1 with his 2 games. Now I'm getting it. James won yesterday with his 2 games and his 2 rounds, or his 4 games, 2 rounds, losing it again. Brad, not doing so hot. He's pretty far behind, and it doesn't matter because it's per round basis, per game basis. So the fact that he hasn't won any money doesn't really matter because it's per game. How many games you win. The first person to get to 3 winning games wins the tournament. That's the way it goes. But Brad's been doing so bad, he didn't even get to participate in Final Jeopardy in the second round yesterday. It is confusing. So 1 for James, 1 for Ken. Maybe Brad will win today. We'll see. But you got to check them out. They're so much fun. The camaraderie, like I said, that's the only word I can really come up with. You can tell that they really like and admire and respect each other. And that is very rare to see anymore. All right? Yeah. I will move on to my topic, which I just had